Imagine you are walking through a quiet forest. Birds are singing everywhere around you. Then suddenly, complete silence. Every single bird stops. Nothing moves. Nothing makes a sound. Most people think nothing of it. They keep walking. But experienced trackers, wildlife scientists, and indigenous hunters know exactly what that silence means, and it stops them dead in their tracks. Because what just happened was not random. It was a message. A warning. And today I am going to teach you how to read it. Welcome to Inside the Bird Mind. I'm going to take you deep into one of the most fascinating and least talked about phenomena in the animal kingdom, bird language. Bird language is not a metaphor. It is not poetic. It is a real, structured communication system that birds have developed over millions of years. A system so sophisticated that it functions like a living alarm network covering entire ecosystems. And here is the part that will genuinely surprise you. Birds are not just talking to each other. Every animal in the forest, from squirrels to deer to foxes, has learned to listen in. Birds are essentially running a public broadcast system, and the entire natural world has tuned in. By the end of this video, you will never hear birds the same way again. Let's get into it. Before we can understand bird warnings, we need to understand what normal bird behavior looks like. What scientists call the baseline. The baseline is the natural, relaxed state of birds in any given environment. Birds singing freely, moving between branches, foraging on the ground, calling to each other casually. When you are in a healthy natural space with no threats, this is what you hear and see. The baseline is important because every warning signal is a deviation from it. Something changes. A call becomes sharper. Movement becomes more jerky and alert. Or most powerfully, everything goes quiet. Learning the baseline is actually the first skill that trackers and naturalists develop. Once you know what normal sounds like, anything abnormal becomes immediately obvious. Your brain starts to pick it up almost automatically. Now let's talk about the alarm call, the most direct form of bird language. Every bird species has at least one specific alarm vocalization. It is distinct from their regular song. It is usually shorter, sharper, and more repetitive. And the moment it is broadcast, every bird within range reacts. But here is what makes it truly remarkable. The alarm call is not one single message. Birds encode specific information into how they call. Ornithologists studying species like the black-capped chickadee discovered something extraordinary. When a predator is spotted, the chickadee adds extra syllables to its call depending on how dangerous the threat is. A low-risk predator gets a simple call. A high-risk predator, like a fast-moving hawk, gets a call with many more repeated notes. Other birds actually count those notes and respond accordingly. More notes means more danger. Think about that for a moment. A bird is not just saying danger. It is saying how much danger, and other birds are doing the math. Researchers at the University of Montana confirmed that other species, birds that cannot even make the same call themselves, understand this system perfectly and respond to it. This is cross-species communication happening in real time, all around us, every single day. It goes even deeper than that. Birds also change their calls based on where the predator is coming from. A predator attacking from the air, like a hawk or a falcon, triggers what scientists call a thin, high-pitched whistle. This sound is specifically designed to be almost impossible to locate. It travels far but gives away nothing about where the warning is coming from. Smart. Because the bird warning others does not want to reveal its own position to a bird of prey circling above. A predator on the ground, like a cat, a fox, or a snake, triggers something completely different. Birds will move to a higher branch and send a loud, repetitive directional call, sometimes even mobbing the predator by flying close to it while calling. Ground predators are slower and less likely to catch a bird in flight, so the bird can afford to be loud and direct. Same bird. Same forest. Two completely different messages depending on the type and location of the threat. This level of precision is not instinct alone. Studies suggest young birds actually learn the full alarm system by observing older birds in their flock. Now I want to talk about the warning that requires no sound at all, and is arguably the most powerful signal in bird language. Complete silence. When birds go completely quiet in an environment where they were just active, no calls, no movement, no rustling, it signals that something so dangerous is present that making any sound whatsoever is a risk. This is the signal that experienced trackers fear most, because it means a top predator is not just nearby, it is close. And it is hunting. Indigenous tracking traditions across multiple continents, from Africa to North America to Southeast Asia, all independently identified this same signal and passed it down through generations. Long before modern science studied it, human hunters had learned to read bird silence as one of the most reliable indicators of immediate danger in the wild. Today, wildlife researchers confirm what those trackers always knew. The sudden absence of bird sound in an otherwise active environment is one of the most consistent and reliable indicators of apex predator presence in any ecosystem. Here is the part of bird language that truly shows how deep this system goes. Birds are not just talking to each other. The entire ecosystem is listening. Studies conducted across multiple continents have documented squirrels, deer, meerkats, and several primate species all responding directly to bird alarm calls, including calls from species entirely different from their own. In one famous study in East Africa, vervet monkeys were shown to respond differently to the alarm calls of superb starlings, depending on what type of predator was referenced, even though the monkeys and the starlings are completely unrelated species. The monkeys had essentially learned to translate a foreign language. What this tells us is that bird language did not develop in isolation. It co-evolved alongside every creature that shared the same environment. Birds became the alarm system, and everyone else became dependent on it. Remove the birds from an ecosystem, through habitat destruction or hunting, and the entire early warning network collapses. Prey animals lose their first line of defense. The balance breaks down. This is one reason why ornithologists argue that bird populations are not just important, they are essential infrastructure for healthy ecosystems. You do not have to be in a forest to experience this. It is happening in your backyard, your local park, your neighborhood trees right now. The next time you step outside and hear birds singing freely, that is a signal too. It means the environment is safe, calm, and undisturbed. Relax and enjoy it. But the next time birds suddenly go quiet around you, pay attention. Something just changed. Something is close. And the birds knew it before you did. They always do. If this changed how you think about birds, subscribe to Inside the Bird Mind. We go this deep every single video. Drop a comment below telling me, have you ever noticed birds go suddenly quiet around you? I want to hear your story. Next video we are covering something even more fascinating, how certain birds have been documented grieving their dead. That one will stay with you. See you there.